If you're a woman over 35 who just got laid off, or you're holding on for dear life to a job you're not sure is safe, this one's for you. Here's what nobody tells you. A layoff doesn't just take your income, it takes your sense of self, your routine, your confidence. And if you're not careful, it can take your sense of worth too. I've been there. And when I came out on the other side, I realized the layoff didn't break me. It exposed some things I'd been ignoring for a long time. Today, I'm sharing 4 hard lessons I learned about myself after getting laid off at 38. And I'm not going to sugarcoat any of it, okay? Some of this is very uncomfortable. But if you're in it right now, I promise there's something valuable waiting for you on the other side of this season. And if you stick around to lesson number 3, that one might give you full permission to let go of something you've been carrying that was never yours to carry in the first place. All right, friend, have a seat next to me and let's talk about it. All right, y'all. So I gave that company everything. Yep, I was that employee, showing up early, staying late mentally, even when I logged off, going above and beyond because I genuinely cared about the work. And then one random Friday before Memorial Day weekend, I found out exactly how much that loyalty was worth. Friend, I was in the middle of working on a project when my access was just cut off. So I did what any reasonable person would do, right? Like I started texting everybody. Like, hey y'all, are y'all experiencing this? Or what's happening? Not even an hour later, I got a 15-minute HR invite on my calendar. That was followed by a CEO email that was a very polished way of saying my role had been impacted. And you know what? I didn't go to that HR meeting because what was the point? It's not like they were going to take me back anyways. That meeting wasn't for me. That was just a checkbox for them. So I closed my laptop and let myself feel whatever I needed to feel. And here's the kicker, okay? 2 weeks before that layoff, we had a company-wide call where leadership told us that the business was doing really well. We were meeting our targets. Things were going good. So yeah, after all that, I have kind of stopped trusting corporations. Not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. Here's what I know now, okay? Companies are not loyal to you. And that's not me being cynical. That's just the reality of how business works. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop pouring everything you have into a place that can let you go without real explanation or any justification. So start building something for yourself alongside your 9-to-5. And it doesn't have to be a business, right? Like it could be a personal brand or a skill you're monetizing on the side, a portfolio you're growing, something that belongs to you that can't be taken away when somebody decides to restructure. Because the best insurance against a layoff isn't loyalty. It's leverage. Okay, so this next lesson is very personal for me, and I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. When I got laid off, we didn't have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up. We had maybe a little under a month. And friend, our monthly expenses are well over $10,000 a month when you factor in our mortgage, childcare, student loans, consumer debt, everything. So yeah, I got a severance, but it doesn't go as far as you think. And right in the middle of my job search, while I was unemployed, I had a medical emergency. And I remember sitting in that waiting room, thinking about the bill that was about to come. And sure enough, $11,000 went straight onto a credit card. And we are still paying that off to this day. I'm not sharing that to scare you. I'm sharing it because nobody talks about the financial domino effect that a layoff has on you. And we're still building that emergency fund up right now because life is expensive and money just doesn't appear out of nowhere. But I made a commitment to myself that we will get there because I never want to be in that position again. So friend, my recommendation is that you open up a high yield savings account if you don't already have one. I use Ally, but there's also Marcus, SoFi, and a bunch of different other options out there. So set up an automatic transfer, even if it's $25 a week, and treat it like a bill. The goal is 3 to 6 months of actual expenses, not what you think your expenses are. So go pull out your bank statements over the last 3 to 6 months and get real with that number. And here's the lesson that surprised me the most. Because when I first got laid off, I genuinely didn't know if I could bounce back. Fact is, I had never been laid off before. So I didn't know what I was capable of under that kind of pressure. But friend, I kicked it into high gear. I got focused, got super strategic. And 4 months after that layoff, I landed a new role. I'm saying all that to say it's evidence that I'm capable of rebuilding even when everything feels super uncertain. And if you're watching this and you're in that uncertain place right now, I want you to hear me on something. You're more resilient than you know. You just haven't been tested like this before. The first 2 months of my job search, I applied to well over 100 jobs. I was applying to anything with marketing in the title, and I only landed 2 interviews. That was it. So I stopped doing that and narrowed all of my applications down to one title and fed my resume into ChatGPT and Claude, pulled keywords from real product marketing job descriptions, and overhauled the whole thing. 2 interviews in 2 months turned into 38 first round interviews in the last 2 months before I ended up landing my role. It was the same skills, just completely different energy. And here's the other thing I discovered in this process. I don't want to climb the corporate ladder, and I'm completely at peace with that. There is so much pressure, especially for women, to want the VP title, the C-suite seat, the leadership trajectory. And if that's your goal, friend, I'm cheering for you, okay? But if it's not, that's okay too. I realize that what I actually want is to be this amazing individual contributor, to do great work, get paid well for it, and protect my peace. That's it. You don't owe anyone your ambition in a particular direction. What matters is that the direction you choose is actually yours. So write down what you actually want your career to look like in 5 years. Not what sounds impressive, not what other people expect from you. What do you want, friend? Because that answer is going to shape how you job search, how you position yourself in this job market, and what you're willing to settle for. The last one is probably the most tactical lesson, but it might also be the most important. Getting laid off caught me off guard and unprepared in ways I didn't even expect. My resume wasn't up to date. I didn't have my metrics saved. I had to go back to old colleagues to ask them to pull my numbers for me because my access had been cut off. That humbled your girl, okay? But I will never let that happen to me again. And I don't want it to happen to you either. Now that I'm employed again, I keep a running brag doc. Every quarter, I write down my wins, my metrics, the projects I led, the impact I drove. My resume is always within one good update of being ready. I also have STAR method stories that are documented. And my LinkedIn actually reflects where I'm headed and not where I've been. I also like to keep my network warm, not because I'm looking right now, but because I've learned that the job market is super unpredictable, and your network is one of the only things that travels with you. So what I want you to do here is set a calendar reminder for 90 days from now. Call it brag doc update or something like that. Between now and then, start a running document and write down every single win, every metric, and every single project you're proud of. And do it now while the details are still fresh on your mind, because your future self is gonna thank you. All right, friend, that's all I have for you today. But getting laid off at 38 was one of the hardest things I've been through professionally. But it also forced me to get real with myself in ways I'd been avoiding for years. And if you're in the middle of it right now, I know it just feels like a loss. And it is. But it's not only that. There is something on the other side of this. And you're more capable of getting there than you're giving yourself credit for. Drop a comment below and let me know which lesson hit the hardest for you. And if this helped, share it with a friend who's going through it, because nobody should navigate this alone. And as always, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.